There are many reasons you might want to use a light table for drawing, and this is the reason why I generally do. It's kind of for getting things in the right place. Quite a few people contact me and say, how do I, I can draw this and I can draw that. How do I kind of put it together in a picture? Well, you can just be very clever and very good at it, or you can kind of do it like this. And this is a kind of a time-old method of planning, is to use a light table, or in the old days you would kind of use the window, and you just kind of keep drawing on top of drawings, tracing on top of tracings until you get everything exactly kind of how you want it to be. And as I keep on saying, people who aren't artists, they kind of look at this kind of thing. I'm trying to think, hang on, I think I need a hand there. That'll be her fingers, that'll be his hand. This is a boy's hand here. People who don't do art, and they go, oh, that's cheating, and they get really kind of slightly upset about it. And don't ever worry about that. The only thing that's cheating about tracing is if you trace somebody else's drawing and then you call it your own. That's the only thing. If you're using tracing to perfect your drawing, your image, the thing that you are working on, that's your original idea, then there's absolutely nothing wrong with that at all. It's just a tool. It's just yet another tool in your armory, in your artist's armory of tools. It's, just like, you would use a paintbrush or anything else. And I was reminded this week, there was a program I was listening to, they're talking about how all artists steal from each other, and they played a selection of music with the Rolling Stones and Bruce Springsteen and The Who, and I thought, hey, wait a minute, that's all a rip-off of Bo Diddley, that. And sure enough, they said, well, all these tunes here are ripped off Bo Diddley, who claimed that it was original, but of course he'd actually ripped this whole rhythm and everything off, African rhythms, and so it goes on, and everybody kind of, rips everybody else off, basically. And, and that's how it goes. And it's very unusual if you see somebody just sort of get up and paint a picture, just to do it just like that. If they can, they have practiced and practiced and practiced at it before, and they've built up a language of, marks and things like that. And they're kind of doing a painting by numbers kind of thing. Even Monet, he spent so much time out in his garden looking and painting, and he could just kind of do it. But us sort of lesser mortals, when we want to get an image absolutely right and get it all planned out, then we need sometimes to trace and put things together. Michelangelo did all those frescoes that you see. They would sketch out on a cartoon, as it was called, and they would punch little holes through the lines, and then when they got up there to paint the thing, then they would pounce chalk and stuff through the holes so that you would get a kind of tracing come through on the wall to help them paint it. It's an age-old tradition. And especially when you're trying to get, the castles and things like that, and things in position, you can rework it and rework it and rework it. It's called editing. Now, you wouldn't expect an author to write a masterpiece, just sort of sit down and write it all in one go. They're going to write a first draft, and then got to fly. And then they sort of leave it a while, and they come back and they edit it, and they write a second draft, and so it goes on. And for some reason, some people think that artists should just sit down and draw a masterpiece just like that. It just doesn't happen. And you'll find all the great, great masterpieces, if they haven't actually kind of done and traced it out like this and kind of worked it, then they've worked it over several other paintings, and they've kind of practiced and practiced and practiced and refined. And you'll find that in great artists' oeuvre, you'll find the same painting done over and over again. The sunflowers. There's a reason why there are so many of them. There's so many copies of the sunflowers, because basically he's copying and tracing and refining and editing. And so don't you worry. If you want to do really good artwork and get it absolutely right, you've got to do it again and again and again until it's right. And it's kind of like practice. But it's also, I don't know what we're trying to say. It's also, I'm trying to think, hang on, her thumb needs to go forward over like that. And her fingers will be there. Now, this is meant to be quite an innocent kind of old picture, this. If you want to know quite what it's all about, then you'll have to go and join my art school on Patreon, because I'm going to do the painting of this as a little extra on there. And I'll tell you exactly why I'm doing it and what it's all about. And then I'm not really tracing as such. I'm kind of using what's underneath as the basis for what I'm going to draw. And I'm kind of editing as I go along and adding extra lines and just little extra things. Like I didn't really think about the hand previously. I haven't quite thought about where the jug handle goes, but I'm going to give her a little ermine edge. I think I'll give a little ermine edge to her collar there as well. And now to draw the castle tower. So I'm adding extra there by putting those little bits on, but I kind of knew they were going to be there while I was doing the pencil. But I knew I didn't need to put in all the detail in the pencil sketch, because I knew I would get it eventually. Oh, sorry, I hadn't realised it was right over on the edge of the paper here. Let me move it across. And then all I got to do is draw a little dragon on the top. Actually, he's meant to be a little bit fierce. There we go, put some eyebrows on. And essentially, that is it. I'm just going to put some bit of cloud in there. And so now I have got a nice and simple illustration which is kind of laid out exactly how I want it, ready for painting. And that's what I'm going to do over on my Patreon Art School page. I hope you come and join me. Now, if you'd like to know the story behind this picture and watch me painting it, you'll have to join my Patreon page. Otherwise, you can click and have a go at the mystery drawing. Either way, make sure you are subscribed to this channel on YouTube for lots more drawing videos. And why not go and see my Patreon page anyway and find out what it's all about. In the meantime, keep drawing, practice, and I'll see you next time. You take care now. Bye-bye.